what we are going to cover today. So we are going to understand what is CCNP Enterprise. Okay, and already I have taken an introduction session earlier, so we will send a email, or you guys can check on YouTube also. In CCNP Enterprise there are many modules, so like Encore, NRC, okay, and there is a ENSDWI. Okay, Encore is covering routing part, switching part. It has 25 topics, but they are not in detail. So it's like overview, describe, means up to 40 to 50% of the knowledge of that topic. It has many topics, 25 topics. It has a VLAN, yes, inter VLAN. It has a VTP. There are and routing part also, like EIGRP, OSPF, BGP. Okay, but EIGRP, OSPF, BGP is only 50% covered in Encore. Okay, and if I talk about NRC, it has only 5 topics, which is EIGRP, OSPF, BGP, MPLS, and DMVPN. Okay, mostly VPN, you can say that, like GRE tunnel also. So these topics, like, it is almost 80 to 90% covered. If you really want to complete your routing knowledge, okay, if you want to complete the routing knowledge, then this module I'm going to teach. I'm your instructor for NRC, and I have total 11 years of experience. My last job was in Juniper Networks, and before that I worked with Altron, TCS, and Apple also. Okay, you guys can check my profile on LinkedIn. Okay, so I'm going to take this module NRC. So Encore, like if you join for NRC, you can do an Encore after that. Okay, so Encore we will be starting next month. So as of now, you can start. So both are not related with each other. It's not like that. If you cover NRC, you can't do NRC. Okay, or if you first do Encore, you have to do Encore. So there is no prerequisite. So you can do NRC or you can do Encore. तो आप पहले NRC भी कर सकते हो, Encore भी कर सकते हो. They are not related to each other because you are covering 50% topics here. You are covering almost 80-90% of the topics of EIGRP, OSPF, BGP, and in MPLS you will be going to learn L3 VPN, not L2 VPN, because L2 VPN, there is a multicast EVPN, multicast VPN, that those technologies comes into service provider domain, which we will launch maybe a few courses of service provider, ACI, Nexus within span of next 1 or 2 months. Okay, but yes, whenever you go and apply your jobs, most of 70% interviews, they have written these topics: OSPF, BGP, MPLS. Okay, I hope everyone agrees. When they apply jobs, even in network security profiles, you will be getting these OSPF, BGP, MPLS, these topics when you apply any type of networking job. Okay, so you guys can check that also. So this is why we have divided the modules. Okay, we used to train both the modules together first. Okay, तो पहले हम एक साथ दोनों मॉड्यूल पढ़ाते थे. So we used to train Encore and RC in one go, but we have separated because many guys, they work for a service provider. They work for a service provider. They might work for Airtel, Jio, or some AT&T, Sprint level 3, any ISP. So they only need to learn OSPF, BGP, MPLS. They are not actually, they don't want to learn the enterprise network. So that is also a benefit. If you're from ISP, you just need to cover the NRC. So Encore will help you for more topics. That's it. So in short, what is my conclusion of all discussion? 70% interviews you can crack from NRC, and 30 remaining topics will be in Encore. So focus on 70% first, and then you can focus on your 30%. Okay, according to routing switching profile I'm talking about. Okay, so that is, I'm talking about according to routing switching. Nowadays many companies are asking for firewall and all other courses as well, or trainings. So now let's discuss about NRC. Okay, please watch that introduction video. In the end of this webinar, I'll share that introduction webinar which I have taken for 1 hour. Okay, so let's focus on NRC. Okay, so what is NRC? So NRC is Advanced NRC is Enterprise Advanced Routing and Services. Advanced Routing and Services. So if you want to give exam, अगर आपको exam देना है CCNP Enterprise का, if you want to give exam, you have to crack 2 exams. You have to pass 2 exam. One is Encore, or you can pass NRC, or you can take a SD1 also. But I highly recommend you to go for NRC. Okay, so first do NRC or first do Encore. That's your choice. But Encore course will start maybe after 1 month, so it's better you join NRC. So this is day 1. Okay, so today I'll say this is a day 1 for NRC. Okay, and this is what is your lab requirement. So we have a lot many labs. If I talk about the labs, so we'll be having many labs. You can see all these labs will be covered in this course, and this is a common topology. We will play with other topologies as well, but this will be our main topology. Most of the topics, like if we talk about basic EAGRP or OSPF, some part of BGP. So if you open any of the lab, okay, like troubleshooting EAGRP for IPv6, so IPv4 and IPv6 both are covered. Okay, so I'm going to train you on the things and how to put the commands. So these are instructor slides, but still we are going to provide you that as well. So it's basically for instructors. But yes, no worries, you will be getting that material as well. Okay, so every batch we try to teach according to new styles. Okay, so it's not like last time those who have done an RC, that is on different way, because we need to add more content. This is why we try to take batches in a more different ways. Like if you attend my any other video for CCNP, that is not like what I'm delivering today. Okay, so what it helps, like instructor will never get bored to train the same topic again and again. That is also the thing. Okay, so in short, what are the topics? Like 5 are the main topics, but we are going to understand about IPv4, IPv6 addressing overview, EAGRP, some advanced EAGRP. We will talk about troubleshooting of EAGRP, EAGRP version 6, OSPF, advanced OSPF, troubleshooting OSPF, again OSPF version 3, that is for version 6, troubleshooting OSPF version 3, BGP, that is the main topic, advanced BGP, BGP path selection. Okay, if I'll talk about, if you know BGP, we are going to cover the advanced topics of BGP as well, like BGP route reflector, BGP configurations. Okay, so these are going to be covered also, like configurations and route reflectors. Okay, routed redistribution and how to redistribute MPLS layer 3 VPNs. And then we will focus on DM VPN and some part of basic ACL and all. Okay, so that will be the overview what we are going to learn. Okay, okay, so next is, so there are few labs we'll try to share with you. So like these labs, so you can see this lab is built on this lab. So you can see R1, R2, 3 routers, D1, D2. So this lab is similar to this lab only, just the design is changed. You can see R1, R2, R3 is here, D1 is here, A1 is here. So you can see, so just access which is added, but rest of the topology is same. So these are called assessment labs, where the pre-configuration is there. You will be asked some question how to configure the basic setup, and means we will share the questions and you need to fix that labs. So we are more focused, this batch is more focused for assessments. Means we are going to check the assessments, and every class, not every class is very difficult, but after 2-3 classes we are going to put some assessment, and we are going to check that assessment that you guys have done or not. Okay, and based on that you will be getting some score, and based on that score you will be getting your training certificate or accordingly grade. Okay, like A grade, B grade of your course. Okay, so this is the overview. And student lab resources, just hold on. So the labs I was showing you, that is instructor files. Okay, so you'll be getting that student labs also. So like suppose let's check the first lab today. Okay, so troubleshooting IP version 4 and IPv6 addressing issue. So this is our lab. So you can see the first we need to go. I hope everyone can see. Let me increase the size. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first lab. You can see. So troubleshooting IPv4 and IPv6 addressing issue. So you can see this is a scenario. Okay, so the complaint received in the ticket is resolved. So we are going to understand from the ticket perspective. Okay, because even Cisco recommends you to learn in this way. All other ones, like if you talk about other Udemy platforms, YouTube platforms, what you are talking about, so the content is important. Okay, like how you are learning the content, that is more important. Okay, so there are many engineering colleges, but if you learn from IITs, that is obviously a premium segment. Okay, always the guys from IITs do wonders in their life. So this is what I'm trying to say. There are many providers who deliver content, so you just need to figure out which company or which training centers are providing you the highest quality. Okay, and which trainers are experienced and which trainers are from industry. Only 2 3 things you need to check. I hope that smart you guys already are, right? So these are the troubleshooting ticket 1.222, troubleshooting 1.223. Okay, so how we are going to do the trouble tickets? Okay, that is the main question. How we are going to do that trouble tickets? So question, okay, so for that, so there are many labs which is already built by Cisco. Okay, so I'm not going to take the credit of that. So that is by Cisco only. So these are called, just hold on. I'm just trying to get that. Okay, I need to check, guys, because might be I have missed somewhere. So there are few packet tracer labs. Okay, so that is already there. Activity, yeah, got it. Yeah, so these are the tickets you can see. DHCP for IPv4. So some are on packet tracer, but most of the times we are going to use R labs. Okay, R labs means you will be getting a lab access with this course. Okay, so you guys are going to focus on the packet tracer for just 10 to 20%, but rest of the labs you are going to implement here. Okay, so there are many labs over here which is part of Encore and an RC. So whatever I'm going to teach you in an RC, okay, then you just need to turn on like open the lab. Like let's try to open any lab. So you can see there are many labs. So let's try BGP configuration. Okay, so this is a lab. So you just need to turn on all the devices. And how to do practical, just you need to click on the router console and there is the lab. Okay, so you can just pop out the console over here. ठीक है, तो यहाँ से आप ये सारी लैब्स कर सकते हो गाइस. डोंट वरी, आई एम गोइंग टू टीच इन समथिंग इन हिंदी आल्सो. ठीक है, तो अभी कुछ इट्स नॉट अ वेरी टेक्निकल कंटेंट, दिस इज व्हाई आई एम स्पीकिंग इन इंग्लिश. बट जब कोई टॉपिक मुश्किल आएगा मैं अपने आप हिंदी में बोल दूंगा, डोंट वरी. एंड इट्स completely okay if you put down in the chat, can you explain in Hindi again? Okay, or can you explain this in Hindi? So I'm going to explain in Hindi as well. Okay, please keep reminding me in the chat. But yes, interviews you are going to crack when you are going to learn in English, when you are going to speak in English. Okay, so yes, I hope. ठीक है, तो कोई इशू नहीं, आप हिंदी में पूछो बिकॉज उसमें ज्यादा मजा आता होगा कुछ लोगों को. ठीक है, बट आई एम ओके विद बोथ द लैंग्वेजेस. And the guys who only understand English, guys, you will not be missing even a single thing. If something, if I'm speaking in Hindi, The same I have already spoken in English. Trust me. Okay. So I'm not going to miss anything. So this is what I'm doing from last many years. It's not new for me. Okay. So this is how you are going to do the labs. Okay, so let's take the questions. If you guys have, let me unmute you guys. Please ask question one by one, okay? Because it's like a discussion course for. Ashish, you can check with that with team, okay? I'm not going to take care of that, right? You already know. So please check with the team. Yes, guys.
Hi sir, Rahul this side.
Yeah, Rahul.
Sir, एक question था जैसा भी NRC चल रहा है. All right. We are doing NRC. Then after, if we'll go for SD1, so it good or Encore is what is the
See,
path actually?
if you don't want to give exam, अगर आपको exam नहीं देना, if you don't want to give exam, yes, you can save money by doing NRC and SD1.
Okay.
Okay, but if
So,
you want to give exam, that Encore is mandatory exam.
So first of all, we need to give an Encore exam. Then after we can
No. You can give an RC or you can give Encore first. It's totally up to you. But you will be getting CCNP certificate once you complete 2 modules of CCNP.
Whatever the time limit is, that doesn't matter, right, sir?
No. Even you can give to both the exams on same day also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sir. So, sir, one more thing, sir, about the career. Sir, right now I'm in Jaipur location and I'm just wanted to switch Bangalore last December between or
do one thing, Rahul,
because in
please.
February I will
listen. You can put that question in my LinkedIn. Let's be specific to the course. That career guidance, resume and all you can share with me on LinkedIn. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hi, Arjun here.
Yeah, Arjun.
Just I need a query. I have a query like these exams, CCNP Enterprise for Encore and NRC. Is this global certifications or is this from networking?
See, Cisco courses are always global. We are not like Cisco, obviously, right? So if you want global, so I'll show you what. So there is a website. Okay, so once you complete the course from Cisco, when you give exam, because it's costly exams, it's not that much like what we call that. It's not free, okay, or it's not very very less price. It's $400 to $300. Like Encore exam fee is $400, and if you give an RC, it is going to cost $300. Then you will be getting a Cisco authorized certificates. Okay, but yes, there is no need, I would say, till the time you are not getting a job. If you already on very low packages, so I don't recommend anyone to go for only the Cisco certifications rather than spend money on your learning. Okay, but once you'll be completing the course, you can add your credentials in the LinkedIn profile. Like you can see, so Cisco certified enterprise course, Cisco certified, like that. Okay, and like networking certificates also you can add in your LinkedIn profile. You can see I have added a CCNA in-depth course by networking. So you can see the credential, right?
Okay.
So our certificates are also not just the certificates by training centers. So they are also authenticate. You can also authenticate on learn.nwkings verify certificate. So there is a serial number, means companies can verify the serial numbers over here, that it's a valid certificate or not. Okay. Yeah, you can see this certificate is given to Ravi Kumar. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so we have done better things what already in the market. So if you still just, if you mention in your resume that you have done CCNA, CCNP by networkings, you have just gone through to the training program, but you have not given exam, still that will work. Okay, because your knowledge is important. But yes, there are many companies, those who only check Cisco certificate. But I think that is only 20 to 30% in the market.
Okay.
Rest 80% companies check your knowledge.
And in networking, means these exams will have any extra fees or it will be included on the course itself?
No. These are separate exam fees. Okay, obviously, because LSAR fee will be on very higher side. So, Arjun, so like you need to book your exams. Have you done your CCNA, by the way?
No, I have a CCNA. I'm just for the CCNP which you have shown, right?
So see, the same you have given CCNA, the same you have to give your CCNP. Going to Pearson View, just create your account and just book your exam.
For global, this was
For global certificate. Yeah,
this is a procedure.
Yes, any other question, guys?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
सर ये SSRP और SLA में क्या फर्क है सर? डिफरेंस बिटवीन
Difference between HSRP and IPSLA?
नहीं, हाँ, yeah, sir.
Basically, IPSLA we use for tracking. Okay, tracking means like you want to track ISP link. Most of the times, if you implement HSRP, okay, suppose you have two routers and you have configured HSRP. Okay, most of the people, what you learn in CCNA or CCNP, most of the places, you learn, okay, this is my active router, this is my standby router, right? And if this link goes down, this router will become active. This is what you have studied, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So nobody will talk about the ISP link. Like you got a connection from Airtel and you got a connection from Tata. तो आपके पास दो connection है और अगर एक down हो गया, suppose one connection is down. So the router is not going to modify means this router as active because your ISP link is down. Or sometime what happens, you can track the interface. तो कई बार आप interface को track कर सकते हैं. You can track the interface, but most of the time this interface is up. This interface is up. There are some multiplexer or some devices between you and ISP that is down.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and we need to keep pinging that ISP IP. We are going to create a script, small tool. We are going to ping ISP IP after 10 seconds. And if the device is not able to ping that ISP IP, automatically the traffic will shift to another side.
Okay, sir.
That is IPSLA.
Okay. और SSRP भी ऐसे काम करता है ना?
Yeah, if you learn HSRP, VRRP, any gateway load balancing protocol, so IPSLA is implemented in most of the companies. Like I have seen, like when I was in Apple, there they have configured not IPSLA, but it's advanced version of IPSLA EEM script, embedded event manager, to track the links. If any ISP link goes down, automatically the traffic shift to another ISP link. Okay, so we have seen these in industry. This is why we are adding in the courses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Mr. Atul. I'm Samim Ali here.
Yeah, Shamim, Ranjit. Sorry, I didn't get your name and your voice is not that much audible.
Okay, I will just
come near to the mic.
Sorry. So now can you hear me properly?
Yes, correct.
So I will just introduce myself because I have a 15 years experience as a network engineer, and I did the CCNA. I think 2005 I had completed, but right now I'm working in the Alcatel switches, layer 3 switches, VLAN, link, trunking, everything we are doing, but we are not using the Cisco devices. So I'm totally I forget the commands or something. We can get this one. So can I go directly to the? You can know that I'm managing the layer 3 switches, and this is the big organization. So more than 100 plus switches is there, PoE and wireless.
Got it.
So now I have to do the CCNA, or can I join directly to the CCNP? That was my question.
So if you have basic, see what I recommend you. So just for the guys like those who are just like already done CCNA, okay, that's completely your choice that you want to learn from zero level, okay. But there is if you understand Hindi, okay,
I can.
So there is a 10 hours course which I have uploaded 3 days back.
I saw
okay, so if you complete this and if you have CCNA done even 5 years back, so if you refresh this content, you are ready for CCNP. Okay, but this 9 hour CCNP, like in CCNP we teach 100 hours.
Mhm.
So you can see that it's a 10% of CCNP what we deliver.
Mhm.
Okay, but yes, those who have done CCNA, we have covered important topics. So
Mhm.
you can complete this. If still you feel like you need more CCNA, then you can join or you can buy the CCNA premium videos as well. Okay,
Okay.
or directly you can join my CCNP. I don't think you, if you already have 15 years experience,
Mhm.
then I think you are already ready for that things.
Yeah, also managing the VoIP and wireless and also
Then fine.
switches.
Then you are okay to join directly
Uh,
CCNP.
4G core switches we are managing, but that is the only brand, different brand. So we are using the same technology, but different commands we are using, you
Got it,
can
got
say.
it. Yeah, see, we are here to learn technology. We are not vendor specific. Yeah, we are learning Cisco, so obviously we need to focus on Cisco.
Mhm.
But after this course, if you know already other devices, like you know how to configure Juniper or something,
Mhm.
so yes, you can attempt, you can configure those devices as well.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I don't want to waste, guys, your time. So let's do something. So I'm going to teach you IP header. Okay,
Uh, Sorry for interrupting you. One
yeah.
thing, how much time this will take? Because we are a working professionals. So how many days this will take if you will
So
discuss?
generally, see, I train from my heart. I don't train from my only just brain. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
saw
that
in
is,
the video.
yeah. So I never focus on completion. I focus on delivery.
Mhm.
So even you guys can check with my CCNA students.
Mhm.
The CCNA was of 20 to 25 days, but I have taken 10-15 more classes.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Okay,
I believe in delivery, but yes,
okay,
you can think of on pay documentation. We say it's 2.5 months, but might be it will go to 3 months or
okay,
maximum 3.5. Only one module.
okay.
Okay, but we are trying to focus that you will actually learn the things. Okay, so but yes, we will try to cover in 2.5 months, but yes, it can be delayed to maximum 3.5.
One module,
Yeah, one module. Our
NRC and
CCNP
Encore.
is the most intensive CCNP ever you will see. It is going to be 5 to 6 months. The
Okay,
complete Encore and RC.
okay.
And if you take SD-WAN, that adds 2 months more, 8 months.
Mm.
Encore and RC, because actually it takes that much time. The guys who are saying, yes, we will cover in 1 month, or maybe they cover on weekends, just 5 hours, 10 hours. Yeah, we
Mm.
can, it totally depends on number of hours. So 50 hours in RC, 50 hours in core, 5 to 10 hours can be added more
Okay,
according to the course.
okay.
Okay, it's not strict that I'm going to teach only 50. Might be it can be 60 also.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Okay, so let's
Hey,
discuss.
Thank you.
Ato, quick question, man. This is Kenny again.
Yeah, Kenny, hi.
You know what my question is, right? I'm still
Yeah,
waiting
yeah,
for it.
yeah, yeah. We will upload CC in English in 9 hours.
Okay. Then also, what is your suggestion about I mean, if you want to take a CCNA certification, uh
Mhm. Or you
what
want
is your
CCNP?
no CCNA first? What is your suggestion about uh how do you approach taking the examination? Is it, I mean, what is your suggestion in taking a CCNA
Can you
certification?
do one thing, because it's not related to CCNP right now? So please join me with me on LinkedIn and ask me n number of questions. Even I'll not get irritated. Don't worry. You can ask me 50, 100, whatever questions you want on LinkedIn.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
So let's guys see that is the, so let me record the session. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you can see guys, this is IP packet header version 4. Okay, and you can see version number of IP protocol. So this is the first portion. You can see this is a version 4. This is the first field. We call this version. Okay, version means if this is a version 4, we will be putting 4 here, and if it is a 6, it will be 6 over here. So the version tells whenever you send any traffic, suppose this is your laptop, okay, or computer, so you send traffic over the internet and it is going to google.com, and the Google IP is like maybe 70.1.1.1. So whenever you send your packet from your computer like 192.168.1.2, so whenever we put IP version 4 in the detail, whenever you send a request, I want to access google.com. So whenever we send packet, that IP details are added. So whenever IP address is added into the packet, this is what we call packet. Okay, remember the basics, guys. When we say packet, packet means when we have IP address on it, when we have IP, source IP and destination IP, we call this packet. When we talk about frame, it has the source MAC address and the destination MAC address. Okay, and when we say about segment, so that is having source port number and the destination port number. Okay, I think you already have that information. So whenever we send information, suppose there is a router and we say router is a layer 3 device, right? Layer 3 means network layer, and network layer only understand your below layers like packet frame. It will not understand the ports. So if any router is getting that information, it can only check the source IP, destination IP, and then it can check the routing table where to send the packet. So whenever we send information to router, router checks IP packet and all the IP header detail is inside the packet. Okay. So now you can see this is a version. Version means if it is a version 4 or version 6. Guys, please say yes in the chat if it is clear, the first field. Okay, yes. Okay, good. So now if we talk about header length, what is header length? So header length means, so you can see the rows, one row, first row, second row, third row, fourth row, right? Can you see that? Right. So these are the rows. Yeah. Yes, Ved. So generally it start from 0 and it can go up to 31. So 0 to 31 total how many bits? 32 bits. Okay, so IP header is of 32 bits? No. Why? Because we have many multiple rows here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Generally, we call it 5 rows. And this is why 32 into 5 is how many bits, guys? Tell me. I hope you have not studied this any time earlier. So 32 into 5 is 160 bits, correct? Right? So 160 divided by 8. Okay, if you check what you get, 20 bytes. So this is why we call IP header is of 20 bytes. Okay. So your header length decides that packet is having how many rows. If it is showing 4, so the packet size will be 4. Okay, 4 into 32. That is approx, you can calculate 64, 128, and 128 if we divide by 8, that comes almost 8, 16 approx, right? I think. Yeah, right, approx. So that frame, that packet is of 16 bytes, not of 20 bytes. So your header length decides how much rows or how much what is the header length. Generally it is a 5, but sometimes it can be 4 as well, but most of the times it is 5. So this is why every time we say that IP header is of 20 bytes. Clear? Yes, everyone, please mention in the chat. Okay, good. Good. I got. Shamim, that can be done when we have IP fragmentation, if you heard about that word. Okay, when we divide our packet into smaller chunks, so then that header length can be varied. Okay. Yeah. So next important thing is TOS. What is TOS? TOS stand for type of service. Type of service means that is completely quality of service. Quality of service means like if you check the type of service, suppose you are sitting in a meeting room and you want to send a meeting packets first, not just take an example, guys. Like there are two type of traffic in your office. One is very important meeting is going on. Okay, very important meeting going on, and there are few your team members are downloading or watching YouTube. So tell me which traffic is important for you, meeting or downloading videos from YouTube? Yes, meeting is important, right? So what we are going to, suppose meeting, we have this in VLAN. Okay, suppose our meeting room is in VLAN 10 and the guys who are downloading the data, they might be in VLAN 20. So we can give high priority to VLAN 10 because meeting room is in VLAN 10. That is a different group. Or you can also, if you don't want to put the traffic according to VLANs, you can put your traffic according to video and audio. Suppose you want to give priority to audio calls and you want to give priority to video calls, and then you will give priority to downloading. Okay, so that you can set also. So this is what we call type of service, quality of service. Okay, and if you check type of service, okay, so in type of service, if you check, okay, there are many bits. So it's a very it's predefined also. So if you check the enterprise media net quality of service design, okay, and if you check their quality standard, what should be the quality? So you can see, so there is a IP precedence value, okay, and there are some AF bits, so that you will actually learn in quality of service topic. Okay, so there are some classifications. You can see that for interactive video there is a bit AF41, streaming video CS4. So in short, if you change the bits 001, 010, 0110, so if you change the bits in type of service, so you have 8 bits here, right? 8 bits means you have 8 0 and 1s here. So consider this, like if you have 8 0 1s, you can play with the 0 1s and you can prioritize your packet according to the standard. Suppose you want to send a critical traffic, then the 0 1s will be 101 000. Okay, and because these are not 8, so add 00 in front of that. Yeah. Okay, so that is called IP precedence. Okay, and there is some assured forwarding rate, forwarding PHP, assured forwarding, AHP, and there is another DSCP. So that is basically part of quality of service topic. So in short, this type of service will help companies to give or to implement quality of service. Okay, and this is very important. It's not like we should like as a company, if you are a big company, you want to prioritize your traffic, then you have to play with the TOS, that is a type of service. Okay, and when you put quality of service, now understand, we have given priority to meeting and we have set a bit. Okay, suppose we have given AF41 to this. Okay, suppose the high priority number. Okay, अगर हमने high priority number दे दिया है, if we have assigned higher priority number, so when you are going to send traffic and the router is going to set this TOS 010101 like this, and whenever it is going to internet and all, so then the connections will come to know that is a high priority packet. Okay, so you can prioritize your packet. So it is, if it is a downloading traffic packet, then you can not set that bit, but if it is audio format or video traffic, then you can actually set higher type of service. Okay, so that is for quality of service. In short, if someone will ask you, okay, explain IP header, okay, how you are going to define that, I'm going to cover once you complete the IP header. Okay, but first understand version, which tells the packet is a IP version 4 or IP version 6. Okay, then it tells the header length. Generally it is 5. So header length tells how many number of rows, and options we don't take. Okay, so but it's like 5. So 5 into 32, it's 160 bits. And if we divide by 8, because to get the bytes, so that is around 20 bytes. Okay, so type of service is for quality of service. Your answer should be a type of service is actually for implementing quality of service to prioritize the traffic. You can just mention in the interview, prioritize the network traffic. Okay, prioritize the network traffic. Clear? Okay, good. Okay, so this is a packet length. Okay, so you must be thinking, Atul, we already discussed the header length, but what is this total length is in bytes? Because you are going to, this packet is going to carry the data also. Okay, so this is going to carry the data also. So the maximum segment size is 65,535. Okay, to the power of 16 bits. So generally it is in bytes. Okay, 65,535 bits. So you can see that is the maximum. Okay, so 65,000. So remember, this is to the power of 16. So this is 16 bytes. Okay, so this is 16 bytes, the total length value. Yeah, Anand, you can see the video after this class also. Just hold on, guys. Okay, just hold on. I hope everyone is not getting bored, because it's a theory topic. Even I can show you the direct TIGRP OSP practical, but this is how not we supposed to learn. Okay, because in interview, most of the times your interview start from here only. Sure, Mohammad Anas. Actually, I have created a document. I don't know where I've misplaced. So that is based on IP header, but no worries. Okay, so let's continue. Vinod, I didn't get your question. Okay. So now you can see the version, header length, type of service, and total length in bytes. So again, I repeat, total length basically tells the total size of IP header. Total size of IP header, IP datagram, which includes the data also. Data plus header information, that tells total length, and maximum size can be 65,535, because if you do to the power of 16, okay, so total length includes the data and header length. So what is identification? Can you see that? Identification. Okay, so So whenever we send data from one device to another device, whenever we send data to one device to another device, so there is an identification number. There is an identification number which is like a unique number. So which actually, because the computer is not going to send only one packet. The computer, or like suppose your PC or might be Google or YouTube, will have a lot of exchange of packets. So you will not only send one packet, you might be sending 3,000 packets, 5,000 packets. So identification tells like it is a unique number which differentiate one packet with another. It is like a different number, so that you will be getting the devices will come to know this is a different packet. Identification is like a unique number. Okay, like if you have studied router ID, so router IDs, like all routers have different router IDs to find to have the unique ID. Like identification is like a unique ID. Yeah. Sequence number comes in OSPF, that is completely different. Identification in IP header is a different thing. So IP header, like when you send a lot of many packets, the every IP packet is having a different IP header. Okay, remember when we do fragmentation, जब हम fragmentation करते हैं, when we divide our packet into smaller chunks, so then that time how that computer will come to know that yes, the device is doing fragmentation, because you have divided the packet. Then those fragmentation have same unique, means all that fragmentation packets will have same number. Suppose A12333 like number, so all the packets will have same digit because you have divided the packet. तो अगर आप पैकेट को डिवाइड कर रहे हो तो जो नंबर होता है आइडेंटिफिकेशन का वो सेम होता है. Okay, but when we don't do fragmentation, when we don't do fragment means divide the packet, okay, into packets, fragmentation. Okay, so that is fragmentation. Also when we do fragmentation are make the same ID value, so that receiving host, means receiving side, will assume these packets are fragmented. Guys, don't worry, the class is getting recorded. I don't know, like you are feeling that you will be having FOMO, fearing of missing out. Don't worry, this is recorded and we will put in YouTube. Don't worry. If you join CCNP or not join, this today class will be getting. Okay. And there are lot of classes like this will come. Okay. So now I hope identification is clear, everyone. Okay, so now like I'll tell you what TAC engineer does. So as when I was TAC engineer, right? So when what we see that from sender A to sender B, between two routers, if packet is coming, okay, and if it is fragmentation, we check the packet unique IDs. Okay, so it helps also in troubleshooting, but normal network engineers will never do troubleshooting based on identification. Only TAC engineers will actually do deep dive, which we call TCP dump analysis or IP header analysis. So that what we use in TAC profiles. When you actually into routing team or switching team, then you actually troubleshoot with the identification number also. Okay, so when we troubleshoot the packets, we analyze that the packets are receiving at the receiving end or not. It is like in the how fragmentation will work. Okay, I'll come to that point. So now, like let's see if you have prepared for the interview or not. Okay, so if somebody is going to ask an interview, what you have to say? IP header, the first is version, which tells version 4, version 6. Then it tells the header length, like most of the times it is 5. It means 5 into 32, 160 and 160 20 byte. Type of service is for quality of service to prioritize the traffic. Total length tells what is the IP head, what is the IP datagram size. Means it tells the IP header. This all is IP header. Okay, means your 20 bytes. 20 byte is your header. है ना? तो 20 बाइट का हेडर हो गया. So 20 byte is header and you are going to send the data also. Suppose you are listening music or whatever data, or you downloading anything. So that is your download, that is your data. Okay, so it can be of 1000 byte, whatever. Suppose a packet is of 1000 bytes. So the total length in bytes is this. So means header plus data, header plus data. Okay, that is total length in bytes. Identification, it's a unique number by all the packets. It's a unique number by all the packets, but make sure you share that knowledge also. When we fragment the packet, then the packet identification number will be same. Okay, so guys, a question for you. Tell me, in what scenario identification number is same? In what scenario my identification number is same? Yes, in fragmentation case. Very good. Yes, correct. You all are doing good. Okay, so now if we talk about flags, ठीक है, अगर हम flags के बारे में बात करें, so if we talk about flags, so there are 3 digits. You can see this is a 3 bits. Okay, so we have 3 bits. So yeah, so in the, yeah, let me remove this. So when we talk about flags, so flags is basically for fragmentation. I told you about fragmentation, that you want to do fragmentation or not. Okay, so bit is 0. So there are 3 bits. 0 means received. If a bit is 0, so that has means reserved, sorry, not received, sorry. Okay, it's reserved. Okay, so bit 1, if bit is 1, it means no fragmentation, means आप fragmentation नहीं करोगे. Okay, I don't know, my pen is slow now. So if you have 2, so that means you are going to do fragmentation. Fragmentation is needed. Okay, so how we can't type 2 here because it's all in bits. So how you are going to type 2? Remember 8421. Okay, so what will be the digit for the here? 010. If the 010 means 2, it means fragmentation. If the bits are 010 here, it means fragmentation is required. If the bit is 001, that tells the 1. Okay, 1 means no fragmentation, so that means fragmentation is not required. Okay, so bit 1 is used when no fragmentation is required. Okay, what is fragmentation? Okay, so guys, again I'm telling you fragmentation. Suppose you listening a music. Okay, tell me, suppose you are listening a music, any song you are listening. Okay, so if we listen any music, mostly the one because we have downloaded MP3 files, we know, like it is generally between 5 to 6 MB, right? Yes or no? Agree, everyone? Generally, the one song is of 5 to 6 MB, correct? And there is a MTU. What is MTU? MTU means maximum transmission unit. MTU is maximum transmission unit, that is of 1500 bytes. Okay, तो 1500 byte का maximum MTU होता है. What is MTU? So over the internet, when your routers like your ISPs are forwarding traffic, they send packet within the size of 1500 byte. You can't send more than 1500 because that is MTU over the internet. You can't send 9000 in one packet. That is called jumbo frames, which is used in data centers and all. Okay, so we can't send more than 1500. So you can consider, if we divide this 5000, like 5 MB is like 5000 KB. Okay, and 5000 KB, and we put more zeros like to get into like 1 KB is having 1000 bytes. So that is like 5 MB approx. And if you divide 1500, okay, let me take a calculator. Okay, so guys, 5 MB is 5000 KB. Yes or no? 5 MB is 5000 KB. Agree? अरे चैट में हाँ या यस यूज तो लिख दो कोई. यस, ओके, ठीक है. Okay, so 5000 KB, and to get into bytes, we have to multiply by 1000 again, right? So that is a one song in bytes average. And if we divide by 1500, but we can't divide by 1500. Why? Because remember, 1500 is the maximum size. So inside MTU, inside your MTU, there are multiple other things. So what is MTU? MTU is a maximum size. MTU is a maximum size. So in MTU, so when you send a data, okay, so always you add what header? IP header, and tell me what is the size of IP header. I told you 20 bytes. Yes or no? And if we send, this is IP header, and we are listening music from HTTP, and HTTP works on which protocol? HTTP protocol किस पे काम करता है? TCP. TCP header is also of 20 byte. We will discuss about TCP. Okay, so TCP is also 20 byte. So 20, 20, 40. So generally my MTU is a 1500, but this is the data what we can forward. This is called MSS, maximum segment size. The whole thing is called MTU. IP header, TCP header, and MSS is a maximum segment size. Okay, so maximum segment size is your data. Okay, TCP header, when we send data from TCP, like HTTP, whatever protocol you use, and IP is required. So generally we use 1460. So let's consider, to download this song, we need the packet in 1460 size, right? तो हमारा जो data होगा, so we are going to get the data in 1460. So for one song, computer will process almost 3400 packets for 5 MB, just for 5 MB. Okay, why always TCP comes on header, Ashish? Because most of the applications works on TCP. HTTP, HTTPS all works on TCP, not UDP. Like if you are watching this class on Zoom, so that is on UDP. Okay, so now I was telling you the bits. So tell me, what are the bits? Flags means 0 means reserved. When the value is a 0, that means the file is reserved. 1 was no fragmentation, and 2 means fragmentation. Okay, so if your data is more than 1500, so tell me what we have to do? Fragmentation, right? And then in that case, my flag will be 0, 1, 0. That means 2. Yes, guys, clear? Okay, this is actually companies are expecting from you to learn. And tell me, and if we deliver CCNA, CCNP, we have limited number of hours to deliver, right? So see from everyone perspective. Nobody, like many guys know these things, but they can't train because it's all about the limitation of hours we have for the courses. But yes, this time I'll make sure at least for 10 hours we are going to learn that information. You can consider this is a part of NRC, or you can consider this is a complementary with NRC. Okay, so yes, so let's talk about fragment offset. So now you can see fragment flag. So whole this second row is all about packet identification. Flag means the fragmentation will happen or not, and that is fragment offset. What is offset? Anyone? Even the slide missed that. I think this image will help you. I have to explain via image. Let me add in here. Okay, side by side we are. Okay, so guys, you can see the computer is sharing data, and the maximum MTU of between these devices, but on internet its MTU is 1500. This is just for practical, that MTU is a 4000 or something. So you can see the original packet. So when we send the original packet, part of IPv4 header 20 byte, already everything is written here. Okay, so you can see the there is a fragment offset that I'm going to send the data. So you can see 3976, but I'm going to split that data into two segment. Okay, so if I divide my data into parts, that parts you are not sending right now, you will be sending one after one, right? तो आप एक साथ नहीं भेज रहे हो सारे, तो थोड़ा रुक रुक के भेज रहे हो. So you are going to hold the fragments. You are going to send the first fragment first, then you are going to send the second, third, fourth, like that, right? So you want to send 4 packets instead of 1 because the payload is very big. So you are going to divide you did fragmentation, and then the parts will be sent, and that parts will be stored into the fragment offset. Offset is like resting space, like it is like waiting queue area that where fragment will be waiting, that after this I'm going to forward like this. First it will go, then second, third, like that. So fragment offset, it's a 13-bit field, so you can check again. So we were discussing about, so it is a 13-bit field, so you can see 13 bits. Okay, if you to the power of 13, if you calculate, that comes around 8192 bytes. 8000 byte aa raha hai almost. 8192 approx. So it is like a fragment offset. You can hold on the packets for some time. Okay, so it's like a receiver. We can restruct the entire IP packet back to the original, because when the receiver, okay, where the fragment offset will come, suppose you sent first packet, second, third, fourth, like this, even the receiver end, receiver ko bhi, even at the receiver end, the receiver will get all the packets, then only it will come to know, okay, what is the data. Yes or no? अगर रिसीवर को पूरा डेटा मिलेगा तभी तो पहचानेगा ना डेटा क्या है. So fragment offset is also helpful at the receiver end. Receiver received 2480, then 1496, 248014. So it will store all 4 packet in the fragment offset, and then it is going to create the original packet from it. ठीक है, तो ये छोटे छोटे parts करके भेज रहे हैं हम. Okay, so we are sending small parts, and that small parts will be stored into the fragment offset. And once the data at receiver end will also store all the small packets in the fragment offset, and from fragment offset it will make the original packet. Clear, everyone? Okay, Rishabh is asking to repeat again. Okay, no issues. See here that this is your source, right? This is your destination. the empty, you can see that I want to send a data. Okay, and I'm going to split my data. You can see first segment fragmentation is 4000, right? 4000, and you can see 4000 approx 3976 you divided into this, and now these things will be stored into the fragment offset, so that you will be sending first, then second, then third, fourth, like that, and the receiver end is receiving one by one. So one receivers receive all the small fragments, it is going to create the bigger packet out of this. तो सारे parts को वो जोड़ लेगा. We are going to combine all the small fragments to one original packet. So the storage of that buffer, it's like buffer in short. We are going to store our packets into that buffer. Okay, so time to live, most of all you know that I have explained in CCNA also. So what is IP packet, this time to live? So what is time to live? So when your packet send data, so the computer adds a TTL value like 64. So what is this? It's like a expiry date of packet header. It's like expiry limitation, expiry date, or you can say expiry limit, that if we are putting 64, if your routers does not get that packet in 64 routers, the packet will be dropped. The whole internet is of like thousands of millions of routers. The internet is all about a lot many routers are over the internet, right? So whenever you send packet to the router is going to decrement by 1. You send 64, first router will make 63, 62, 61. Suppose the routers are not able to identify that there is a website called goofle.com. Instead of Google, the computer is sending goofle.com packet, but this is not on the internet, or maybe any IP address which is not on the internet. So now routers are keep checking where is that packet or like that. Okay, so TTL value is going to benefit you. When the TTL value becomes 0, the packet is dropped. It is used to avoid layer 3 loops, not L2 loops. For layer 2 loops, you have spanning tree protocol. Okay, interview question. What we use for L3 loops, what we use for L2? For layer 2 loops, we use spanning tree protocol. For layer 3 routing loops, mostly we use time to live. Okay, this is why spanning tree protocol developed, because in IP header we have TTL value, but in Ethernet header we don't have TTL value. This is why we scientists have developed the spanning tree protocol. Okay, because in IP header we all have TTL value. This is why we don't have, you might have not heard too many routing loops. That is because of our human errors, but most of the times you don't get. But in switching, layer 2 loops are very common in earlier days. Now we have spanning tree protocol. Yes, guys, clear all fields, version, header, type of service, total length, identification, flag, fragment, offset. Till now, all clear. Now let's come to the protocol number. This is very important. So protocol number define IP is taking inside IP what exactly you are sending. If you are sending ICMP protocol number is 1. So the protocol number will be 1 here. If you are sending TCP, the TCP protocol number is 6. UDP has a protocol number 17. OSPF has a protocol number 88. EIGRP is 89. Guys, please verify this. Maybe 89 is OSPF, EIGRP is like, but you can just shuffle it. Just please verify it is correct or not. I'm just confused between 88, 89, but it's correct, I think. Virender, are you sure? Internet पे search कर लो. EAGRP, EAGRP might be 88. You can shuffle. Okay. So EAGRP is 88 and OSPF is 89. Okay. Now you come to know why this protocol field is required. Because if you send ICMP packet, still you use IP. If you send TCP, still you use IP. If you send UDP, still you use IP. And if you send EAGRP traffic from one router to another, still you use IP address, because you send a hello packet on multicast address 224.0.0.0.10. This is a multicast address. Still this is a IP. So you send hello packets on multicast address. OSPF also send a multicast address on 224.0.0.0.5 and 6. It has two multicast address. So still you use IP. So it means whatever data you IP packet is carrying, that information will be added into the protocol field. Okay, so interview question might be in tag profile. So what is the difference between protocol number and ether type? So what is the difference between protocol number and ether type? So protocol number we have in IP header, which tells what IP packet we are carrying. Ether type we have in Ethernet header, which tells we are carrying the ARP packet or we are carrying some another type of ether layer 2 protocols. Generally we use for ARP, generally like ARP and some other layer 2 protocols. Okay. So ether type is in Ethernet header when I am going to cover the Ethernet header, but as of now I'm covering IP header. Okay, but yes, now you know what is protocol number. ICMP is 1, not 7, Ravi. BGP works on TCP. BGP does not have protocol number. BGP works under TCP. Okay, so like HTTP, HTTPS, okay, FTP, BGP works here. Port number 179, FTP 21, 443, 80. Okay, so these are called port numbers, not protocol numbers. When anything works under directly IP, that is called protocol number. And when anything works under these protocol numbers, that is called port numbers. MPLS का कोई protocol number नहीं है. MPLS is a technology which adds labels. Okay, it's not a protocol. BGP is a protocol. MPLS is not a protocol. MPLS is a terminology or it's a label mechanism. It's a mechanism. Okay, tell me NAT. You have studied NAT in CCNA. So NAT is a like जो NAT topic आपने पढ़ा है, is that NAT is a protocol or mechanism? It's a translation from public to private. Okay, so I repeat again, whenever anything works under IP, whenever anything is under protocol, we call them protocol number. Okay, but whenever any protocol works under protocol numbers, like TCP is a protocol which works under IP. But if anything works under TCP, that comes with port numbers. Because when we see the TCP header, there is a port number field. And that where we come to know that it's a HTTP packet or any HTTPS packet. Okay. So header checksum. So this field used for integrity of IP header. What is integrity? Means that that the information is not modified. Okay, like whenever you send data from one side to another, so we send checksum detail. Like if you send any data, we are going to put one checksum value, like 010101010 something like that. Okay, so when the receiver end receive the information, okay, so if receiver send checksum value is not same, even with a single digit. If here in the last you have 1, but here in the last you have 0, suppose the checksum is not same, it means the device is going to reject that packet. Checksum means, yeah, it's like error detection. Yes, you can see that check for error in header only. So it is for error in header only, not in the data. Okay. So this is for header checksum. This is why we call this header checksum. This is for not data. So whenever we send data on fiber links, might be one link is dropped or something. So you get issues that the other end receive, like you get a problem, or there is a checksum errors on the interface. Why you get those problems? Whenever we send, might be a fiber cut, or maybe some problem in fiber cable, or maybe your adapters, maybe on SFP, what we put for fiber cables, small form pluggable adapters to convert fiber into Ethernet. Okay. So in short, whenever you have physical cable problems, most of the times you get errors because you are not getting the exact 0 ones what you are sending. So in that case, checksum value can be changed. Okay. And when checksum value is changed, the device is going to reject that packet. That is header checksum. Okay. Now you already know the source IP, the computer IP address, destination address, where you are going to put the destination IP address. And throughout the packet travel, source IP and destination IP address will never change. Interview question: if I am sending my traffic from computer A to google.com, okay, so we have 3 routers here. Okay, whenever this second router receives the packet, so what will be, okay, let's suppose the interviews has given you some information. Okay, there are some few IPs they have written for you to confuse. Okay, suppose like this. Okay, might be they will ask you. Okay, might be if I'm going to take interview. So suppose consider this is an equation. If I want to send a packet on google.com, and if I check the packet on this router, okay, tell me what will be my source IP, what will be my destination IP. If I check the packet over here with Wireshark or something, what will be my source IP? What will be my destination IP? Obviously, source IP and destination IP will never change. If you check the packet anywhere in between the link, आप कहीं भी check कर लो, source IP and destination IP will remain same throughout the journey. It's like you are traveling from one place to another by a cab. Okay, so you already decided you want to go from Delhi to Mumbai, from New York to any place. Okay, so San Jose. So you want to go from one source to destination. So you will stop your car and you will have your coffee, you will have your breakfast. But at the end, source and destination will be in your mind. You have to travel to your destination. So routers are like your stoppage. You stop here, you check, you shuffle the MAC address and all. So we can keep changing the MAC address, but throughout your journey, you will never change source IP, destination IP address. Okay. But only in the case of NAT, only in the case of NAT, when you send packet from private IP to public, only your company router, okay, this router is going to translate, that is translate the IP, private IP to public, where there your IPs will be changed, but it's not changed, it's translation, you can say that. Okay, but throughout the journey, the IPs will never change. Private IP will never go to internet. It will change to public IP, then only you can access internet. That is CCNA basic, Tejinder. Oh man, we are in the last IP option. So what is IP options? Okay, so you must be thinking options are very limited, right? But options are many. Okay, so as the name suggests, if you have extra options, like your packet wants to send extra information, then these options will come into picture. But you don't have to learn all the options, and it's very difficult to learn all the ones, and I never faced anyone to ask these ones. Okay, so it's totally up to your choice that you want to learn or not. So if the option field, you can see options, if the option field is 0, it means end of option. We don't use option, we put 0. Okay, so that is no operation. This is used to align subsequent option if we want to have. So lose a source and record route, that is for different options. Strict source and record route, record route, stream identifier, internet timestamp, route alert, probe MTU, reply MTU. So these can be added. So just you need to check this one, trace route. So when we trace route, so this, when we send trace route, IP header will have 82 type. Okay, whenever we trace route something, and if we check the IP header in the options, you will see 82 number because you are doing trace route. Okay, so options are like if you want extra features, if you need extra functionality, like you want to add timestamp, record route. Okay, so these are actually needed that time. So packet containing MTU and all, so then you use this. Even trust me, even I don't have full clarity on this. It's totally up to your choice, because you don't want to be a scientist, right? We are not writing research papers over here, but you need that much in-depth knowledge at least. So if somebody is asking, and there are n number of interviews where we have seen that interviewer is asking directly, okay, explain IP header. And if you okay, if you explain this IP header, what I have explained you will be getting a job. Might be you fail your OSPF question or BGP question, but if you impress because people, even they have 10 years, 15-year experience, they lack in fundamentals. And this is why still I teach fundamentals. I can train on SD-WAN, AWS. Yes, definitely. But I will be teaching fundamentals, because here we make careers. Okay. So teaching advanced things can be easy, but teaching fundamentals is little difficult. Okay. So now the question is, sir, why TTL value is different most of the times? Okay. When we say, yeah, I'll come to know. If somebody is going to ask me in interview, explain IP header, Atul. So I'm going to put, okay. So remember, please just do 1, 2, 3 time practice. This is your homework, what you have to do. So the same pattern I'm going to okay, so remember, whatever you remember, just type it. Version, like let's try to build our header version. Okay, so it will be little but not in scare. Okay, yes, we can take care. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you can see here, and we can write down whatever we know. Version, so we can put version 4 here, version 6, then come to header length. Okay, header length hai, so header length is of generally is of 5. Type of service for quality. Okay, I'll even share the things. Version is for version 4 or version 6. 5, remember that unique number 160 bits, and that is 20 byte. Okay, and then we have here, I forgot here what is that. So here we have identification. Okay, identification of unique IDs, and then I think we have flags, and then we have fragment offset, I think fragment offset. Okay, so we have source IP, destination IP. Okay, and we have options. Okay, so this is a total header length, I think total header length. Now I recall this. एक इधर कुछ रहता है, so I think I forget. I have to see the header. Flags, fragment offset. Okay, TTL value, guys. So TTL value is here. Okay, TTL is here, protocol is here. Okay, and header checksum. This is I even forget, but still, if you remember 70% of header, still you will be able to crack. But I recommend you to just write, because at my times when I used to give a lot many interviews, I completely know everything about every detail, because I have made this diagram up to 5 to 7 times. I remember when somebody asked me, okay, we are going to ask you IP header, Ethernet, and I have learned in a way that even that interviewer was impressed. This is how I cracked the Juniper Networks interview. And I'm giving you the real example. So they have asked me IP header. They have not asked me Ethernet header. They have not asked me TCP header. They have asked me IP header. Okay. Ashok, we will cover DHCP in detail also. You can ask me in that class. Okay, DHCP and all those things will be covered. Okay, so let me take your questions, guys. So I hope that is informative for you. And this is like either introduction, either NRC, whatever you want to understand. But this is how we deliver the content. I hope you really liked it. Yes.
Hi sir, Vivek here.
Yeah, Vivek.
Just want to know what is the difference between that fragmentation, and that this one
Fragment offset?
CRC. Because what I understand is that in CRC that error checking part isn't correct.
Yeah,
And
basically CRC is a cyclic redundancy check.
Cyclic redundancy check whether
Yeah,
the
so
all
it's
bytes are correct or not correct.
Yeah. So it's
And
like there are many check like parity bit analysis.
yeah.
So you might have studied in data communication.
Yeah.
So this
My
is for
question
error detection and correction also.
Okay.
Mostly. But header checksum is just for detect, not for correction.
Okay. And means I got confused between in fragmentation you told that there is a buffering means it to hold the data till it get the full frame, correct?
Kind of. It's not elaborative way, but yes, as of now, for just that understanding, fragment offset, where all the fragments will be kind of divided, right, by system.
Okay.
Your whatever assemblers, because all these like if you studied assembling, this encoding, decoding, have you studied that encoding?
Yeah, I have
when our computers divide the information into 0, 1
form,
that is called encoding, right?
Yes.
And who does encoding? Assemblers.
Yes.
Okay, that assemblers will put that information in the fragment offset, and that fragment offset is like a buffer where you'll be putting all your small fragments, and once one by one you are going to send the fragments, right? Correct?
Okay.
And all the fragments will have same identification.
Yes.
And when the receiver receives all the same identification, it will be putting all in the fragment offset. And once the fragment offset is complete, it is going to convert that fragment offset into the one original frame. Okay.
No, my question was till the time you told it has to hold the data, correct? Unless and until whatever the we can say one frame is not yet completed, till the time that fragment protocol has to manage hold the data till that time, correct? So it is one type of checking thing, correct? Unless and until he receives the full data, and same part is done by this one CRC, that checksum part.
Checksum basically.
So my just a minute, sir, please. My question my doubt is there how the flow will come, if it not find that full packet, so it will hold. So identification, who will take care, who will send the acknowledgement the first frame he did not receive the entire frame?
So you actually know that whenever we send data, right? So whenever we send data, most on the cases only in TCP, you get acknowledgements. But if you are sending UDP, if your packet is lost, then it's lost.
Yes, it is lost.
Even fragments are lost, then it's lost.
We don't. Understand.
We don't have to worry about the.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, sir.
Do one thing. If you want to know fragment, So just search on Google fragment offset in IP header, and there are many images. You can see length 1500 and it is divided. Offset is 0. So it means the first, and length is 1500. It means 1500 bytes will be sent first, and another length is 1500, but the offset starting from 1480. It means we are going to send data from 1480 bytes to 2960 bytes now. Okay, so just keep checking the images, you will get more clarity.
Okay, understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you can check this also. Original IP header or IP fragmentation. This is, and there is a bits like DF, don't fragment. There is a MF, more fragment. If more fragments are coming, so you will put more fragment is equal to 1. Okay.
Thank
you. Yeah. Yes.
Hi, sir. Sir, I understood everything, but I just have one doubt regarding this internet header length. Can you please explain that again, sir? That value, how it is coming? 20 bytes, like 532 to 120 we have got, right?
Okay. Sorry, I'm having my water. IP header. Okay, so you guys can see, if you check these values, right? So tell me how many number of rows you can see. Just don't add options and padding. Just count the rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And one you can see 0 is over here and 31 is over here. 32.
Yeah.
Okay, just in short, tell me what is the size of IP address? What is the size of IP address? 32. So you can see the whole complete row is captured by source IP. Yes or no?
Yes.
So it means the row is of how much size?
32.
So if you multiply 32 into 5 rows,
okay.
160?
160, yes, sir.
160 divided by 8, because you are mentioning this is in bits. To get into bytes, you divide by 8, and this is how you get 20 bytes IP header.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay.